team in nearly 20 years of esports history in Korea to win a team-based title. Absolutely stunning accomplishment. And combined, the cores of these rosters are responsible for 3 out of 4 of the Apex trophies. That is crazy.
Absolutely. And on the other side, a formidable opponent. It is Seoul Dynasty. They have got a lot of DPS to choose from on this team, but they're starting things off with Munchkin and Fleta. What do you think about that?
I think that Fleta obviously is the starter to go with here, and depending on which flavor of Tracer you want, more aggressive or more defensive, you're going to play Munchkin or Bunny. Sure. I think it's really interesting to me that we don't have XQC or Coco in for Junkertown here for Dallas Fuel. They're running with only Mickey. When we saw this during the preseason, he was playing mostly Orisa or sometimes Winston. So I think that's probably what we're going to see on this first map, obviously, because it is Junkertown, and on attack that Orisa can be very effective. But the triple DPS look leaves a lot of questions, and Dallas Fuel are known for their wacky tricks.
Questions that will be answered soon, Monte Cristo. Junkertown, our first map, then Temple of Anubis, Ilios, and Nimbani finishing things off for this 4-map set. And if we need it, if we go to that 5th game, it's going to be Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and I hope we do go the distance, obviously. Two fantastic teams here, and the more Overwatch we get to see, the happier I'm going to be.
Hey, we've got 2 4-0s today already. I just want to see a little bit closer of a match. I think after that last one, that was like the least close match in the history of Overwatch.
That was pretty brutal to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it wasn't even close. It was a fast match. The Dragons couldn't even make the match drag on, Doa.
Yeah, this is the Overwatch League, not the 04 Watch League.
There you go. There you go.
It did drag on. Oh wow. I don't know who the crowd is groaning at more.
Me. But we are getting into the start of this game. It will be the Dallas Fuel on attack first. And the last time we saw the Fuel play on Junkertown, they were playing without Taimu. They were playing with Harry Hook, Custa, and Chips Haya. And Chips was playing Sombra on attack, and they were running Moira as a triple DPS. It was very ineffective against the Florida Mayhem.
They were being very experimental in that match, too. I mean, I don't think they took Mayhem as a really serious opponent in that preseason one, and it's a time to try things out. So I think we're going to see things get a little bit more serious here. And, man, I love those Seoul Dynasty home jerseys. Those look so cool, man. Hashtag no bias.
Hard to go wrong with the black and gold, and we are going to see we have been seeing more Hanzo Widowmaker double sniper looks. We saw particularly Seoul Dynasty themselves play this on Junkertown attack in the preseason. Idea is you try and get a pick with the Widowmaker, and if you have that scatter arrow, it can one-shot one of the tanks. So you do have some pressure on their big tanks as well. Taimu on the Roadhog, and Harry Hook on... Oh, wow, instant pull in. Well, don't want to peek that corner.
Yeah, Miro does not survive the first 2 seconds of this round as Dallas Fuel comes out screaming with this pick comp.
So one support, Harry Hook, who we know is a very good hit scan player. Obviously, we've seen him mostly on Soldier, the Bastion, a first. And it'll be Taimu, of course, on one of his specialty heroes, Roadhog, and Effect. Who we typically see playing Tracer and Taimu on the Widow is going for the longest flank.
So sneaky. Another hook comes in as a dive from Seoul tries to push Dallas back. In fact, looking for shots. J-Home takes on Harry Hook. Good start there. And in fact, not really finding any finishing damage here. He's in a bit of trouble. They found him now, and he gets taken out. It was sneaky. It was creative. Harry Hook taking a nap rather. Now taking a dirt nap as he flies off the cliff.
And that's right, Toby. More boops for the boop god.
More boops for the boop god.
As we call Toby. Managing to get the kill. And the problem with this composition, Noah, you don't have a lot of healing, so if Effect misses those shots and doesn't get the kills, sometimes you're just not going to be able to out-heal the opposition. And Seagull still here tossing away his ultimate, and looks like we will be seeing a change most likely from Seagull after that.
I think so. I mean, Effect backing away here too. They had to play it a bit safer. Munchkin finding the finishing blow there. Mickey pushing back in on that Orisa. Maybe they've got an opportunity here with the kill on Namiro. A whole hog may pave the way for this payload to start moving again. They gotta get set up on there. Harry Hook getting as close as he can, gets a couple just in scout mode on Bastion.
That's a late sound barrier. Can it actually preserve them for the rest of their players to come back? Zumba will be demeched.
A couple kills coming in at least. Custa does bring Seagull back, and Harry Hook, you might as well call him Soldier Bastion 76. as he does not need that turret node too much.
It's a terrible name.
I know. It's good. I'm not naming characters in this game. Soldier Management. Yeah.
We'll let the designers, the devs, come up with the names from now on.
Oh, it tickles J-Home to death. Gives Munchkin a lot of charge, but a lot of bullets afterwards. Effect over on the Reaper now. One of the heroes he swaps to pretty often, actually, and putting it to good use. And that's going to be point A for Dallas Fuel. Slowed up a little bit, but not too much.
And it was a bit of a delayed sound barrier, as we saw that last time, that really cost Seoul the point. I think they had an opportunity to regroup and try and contest right before the doorway. But with only a couple members, they didn't get significant value out of that ultimate, and then picking him off one by one was Harry Hook on this Bastion, who is now on the high ground. He has abandoned the payload. Does have a nice defense there from Mickey, though, putting up that Orisa barrier for him.
Trying to put himself back together again as fast as he can, but he just can't be fast enough, and that's a crushing win for Seoul.
That was a great graviton, catching Mickey and Harry Hook as they fell onto the low ground and then getting popped by a Junkrat mine. So stabilization is here now for the Seoul Dynasty. Effect did switch over to that Reaper, seeing several large close-range targets with Munchkin on the Zarya and Zunba.
Wow, they're going to drop the supercharger here. They really want to make some progress. Taimu, with the aid of that sound barrier, safe as he pulls out the whole hog right now. Supercharger doesn't last very long, but that payload is finally moving for the moment.
Yeah, they got the value they needed out of it, though.
Yeah, Seagull didn't last long on that Pharah. J-Home taking him out already, and yeah, it's dangerous to play a Pharah into J-Home's Ana, that's for sure.
Jae-Hong, of course, one of the players who will continue playing that Ana, I think, pretty much
Forever.
Indisputably the best Ana player in the world.
Yeah,
Nice stagger there. Harry Hook has been sitting on this ultimate for a long, long time now. Find an opportunity for him to go ahead and find an opening on that. Seagull now on the Pharah, the hero that we saw him play in the Contenders Playoffs Finals, which NB won convincingly.
Yep, good there. Harry Hook with another couple kills. Still has that ultimate. We have seen other Bastion players on this map like Surefour really hold that Bastion ultimate until the very end where they needed to push through point C or maybe take the end of point B, but I don't know. Let's see how much Seoul wants to commit to this defense here.
I mean, it does become a bit of a mind game, too, because Toby's going to want to save that sound barrier to try and deal with it. So if you can get him to hold that sound barrier and play the game of chicken, you're actually winning in terms of value.
Whoa. Oh, Miro, again, dying mid-dive. You don't see that too often from this guy, but it's happened a couple times today already. Seagull has to be brought back up. Now the Bastion ult comes out from Harry Hook. Let's see what he can get with it. There's the D-Mech. Took down Zunba as well. Kills coming in on both sides.
Trying to get Toby, but they're going to keep it moving. And you see Harry Hook was waiting for the sound barrier to be used. Waited until it was dropping off to counter with that ability. And it seemed like they went in too soon. Miro engaged a bit too early, and he was just shot straight out of the sky without getting a lot of the benefit of that sound barrier.
So now Effect, with the only ult on the side of Dallas Fuel, has that Death Blossom ready to go. Miro with the Primal Rage. Death is coming. See, if I was a Reaper, I wouldn't announce myself like that.
This is
wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, he has to shout it, though. Intimidate his opponents.
Death comes. I mean, I'm just a humble wombat.
Well, you know, all the emo kids are just doing it for attention, Doa. So.
That is true. It's a cry for help. That's really what I think about when I listen to Reaper. They're going to D-Mech Zunba and keep pushing here. Seagull over on the Junkrat now. Another one of his specialty picks. And Harry Hook still on the Bastion. Just when you think you've run out of heroes to see this guy play, he pulls out another one, man. Showing us that good Zenyatta in the preseason, now over on the Bastion.
Well, the Seoul's in a real tough spot right now because they had to switch both of their support picks, and they're sitting at sub 40% ult charge as we speak. So when they're reaching the end of this map, Harry Hook's about to have another tank mode to go after them. It's going to be Fleta, though, with a big pick onto Effect.
And Taimu lurking in, finding that hook. There we go, got one. Pulls in the ulting soldier. Munchkin falling very quickly as Effect gets three, well, two rather, with the Death Blossom. D.Va counts for two sometimes. There's a hook.
Come here, goodbye. We don't want your Transcendence on the card.
That's right. Taimu rejects Transcendence. He's going to stay the same forever on that Roadhog.
And there we go. This is the cleanup. They should be able to push this one out eventually. Have to get that D-Mech, though.
I think it might be. They got to handle those respawns. But Zunba in D.Va pilot form, not going to be able to do it for too long. And that, Toby coming in. Can he get the res? No, not quite. And that is it. So, Dallas with 1:03 left in the clock. Really solid time here on Junkertown. And what a strong start for the Fuel.
Yeah, looking great, honestly. They were held up a bit, but you can see how many strategies this team can run.
Yeah.
Show me another Lucio player who's going to play hit scan for the entirety of a map and being such a weapon as part of this roster. And if anything, you have to credit their coach, Kai, and the management of this team as they became the Dallas Fuel for really filling out their weak spots. Now they've got a Pharah player finally in Seagull. They've got a great Orisa and Winston player in XQC. Custa, he brings Moira play. He brings a lot of communication to this team, and you can see he's getting pretty hyped up.
Man, I mean, when you take a round off of Seoul Dynasty like that, you deserve to be hyped up. And now it's on Seoul to try to bring this one back, see if they can set a better time.
And here we go. It is going to be, looks like Miro on the Reinhardt for the start of this one. I think Seoul's probably going to go back to that double sniper look we saw in the preseason. They were the ones who first showed off this strategy.
Right.
Looked excellent on it.
That said, Munchkin on the Reaper right now, so we may see some last-second swaps, although it's hard to say.
Yeah, it looks like Harry Hook back on the Mercy, where we saw him when he wasn't, of course, on that Lucio. And Seagull on the Junkrat, a hero he's been proficient on for quite a long time right now. He is the primary Junkrat player with Taimu behind him, should they need it on this roster. And I'm just surprised to see more of Effect on the Widowmaker. Obviously, Effect is one of the very best players in the world, but that's been Taimu's role. But, of course, Taimu historically a great Roadhog as well.
He didn't look great on the Widow in the preseason either. He looked much more comfortable on the Roadhog, so that's what we've got him on now. Jaehong on that Hanzo for the moment. We'll see if he swaps. Yeah, there's the swap back to the Ano. So they are going with single swiper, or swiper, is this Dorothy? No, this is Overwatch. Single sniper and Reaper instead.
But Munchkin on the Reaper is interesting. This is a counter to the Roadhog they saw in the last round.
Sniper, so no sniping.
Yeah, no Bastion this time, and only that single sniper. Jaehong will get the pick, and Fleta finds Effect as he wraps all the way around.
He lined that one up. And Munchkin tearing apart the members of Dallas Fuel, too, as that payload is moving fast.
Fleta finally free of the chains of his former teammates, played on a bottom-tier Apex team, was absolutely outstanding. And now he has a chance to play with some of the best tank and support players in the world. And the room they can open up for Fleta to do his thing has revolutionized his play.
True enough. Payload moving to the end of point A already. Dallas Fuel with a chance at a last-ditch effort defense. Let's see if they go for it. Effect under fire already. Ooh, gotta be careful though. Fleta takes a big hit there too. Looks for a pick. On to Toby maybe. Jaehong does go down though. Taimu found the pick. Fleta looking for a bit more.
Just a couple of supports right now, and Munchkin is cleaning off the cart with the Death Blossoms. They can continue pushing forward.
Janitor of Overwatch strikes again. Reaper cleaning out the rest of that point.
And we see Toby and Jaehong still sticking with their ultimates. It'll be interesting to see who gets the nano boost in this game, because there's not a very obvious target. Maybe if Munchkin is in the thick of things, they might be able to give it to him. But without a Winston, without a soldier, it becomes trickier to figure out where exactly this ult should go.
Munchkin looking around the outside. Back to the middle there. Fleta. Done okay on the Widow. Hasn't found as many shots as we've seen in the past.
All right, Riptire coming through. They're going to back off and see if they can locate it. They're going to find it, and he gets it!
Are you kidding me? Can this guy do more impressive things, man? Every time, I feel like I've seen the top Jaehong play of all time.
What reactions on that? Has a biotic grenade up, and there we go. It's Reaper time.
That's right. Got that nano boost going in on Taimu. Now gets hooked. Gets the kill anyway. They are going to try to keep pushing forward here. Custa backing away as fast as he can. Taimu with that whole hog, though, should get a bit of pushback. See if he can finish off Mickey.
Yeah, trying to save Mickey there. With the whole hog, manages to push Munchkin back, and this is the time. Toby resurrecting his teammates, but there's a lot of Dallas Fuel members still on that payload.
Big Valkyrie, but not big enough as Dallas just fights right through it, and they will stabilize here on point B. 3:30 on the clock left for Dynasty, rather, so they've got some time to work with here.
This is the time where we might see some adjustments. Miro on the Winston, but will escape with his life, barely. And Taimu manages to get Miro somehow, hooking him in.
Oh, there we
That
go.
was a nice little trade there.
Finds another one onto effect. And winning these Widow duels pretty comfortably.
Miro's going to be brought back up. Taimu had the angle, though. Knew he was going to be peeking around that corner.
Don't bring a sniper rifle to a hook fight. Apparently.
As the classic saying goes.
As my father always told me.
I think, I have to say, under most circumstances, I would definitely bring a sniper rifle to a hook fight.
Yeah, but then you're a road dog and you can take those shots and then you just turn on
Just
the
stay
corner.
further back, just stay further back.
Breathe deeply and you're okay. You're fine at that point. Seoul Dynasty bottled up for the moment here. See if they can find an opportunity. As Zenba takes on that steel trap, doesn't want to get caught anywhere near Seagull. Taimu with another whole hog. Oh, but there's a sleep dart from Jaehong. Gonna take a nap for the moment. Effecto getting all.
Gonna kill everybody. Couple
Okay.
snaps on, a couple headshots to Jaehong, or Toby rather, and Fleta, and that will cause Seoul Dynasty to peel back. Now, typically in this matchup, Doa, Envy didn't do well, and as we heard them say on the desk, yeah, they had all these different looks, they had all these different team compositions, and we saw Lunatic High primarily playing dive, but it was the adaptation in how they played dive that made the big difference. But so far, we haven't really been seeing a great adaptation from Seoul to deal with what Dallas Fuel is throwing at them.
Fleta trying to find a juicy target there on that Widowmaker, but they are not going to give him any angles.
Yeah, and I think we do have to question.
Here we go. Now the dive comes in. Munchkin sneaks from behind with that Death Blossom. No kills, but a lot of damage and a lot of scattering of the members of Dallas Fuel. Can they finish the job? Munchkin dives down, gets the kill on Mickey. Gets kept up by his supports.
Yeah, both support ults used for Dallas right now. They're really committing to this engagement.
They may actually be able to do it here. It'd be crazy.
They're going to save Fleta just barely, and with the tanks back on the card and the revive here for Munchkin, it looks like that may have been a bit too much. They did stack their support ultimates using the Trance and the Valkyrie, trying to bring people back up at the same time, but a lot of big bodies in D.Va and Winston still on the payload, and they can't burn through them fast enough before their allies come and reinforce.
It's been a great hold for Dallas already. Less than a minute remaining in the time bank for Seoul. But it looks like this point may soon go the way of the Dynasty.
Yeah, but look at the delay. They started out with a very fast time coming into point B. They're down to under a minute, so it has been a success. Mickey now on the D.Va, so they have decided to forego Orisa play altogether and be without.
Oh, Seagull gets two, though. Big Rip Tire coming in, and that may be the ticket for Dallas to contest this point.
The best thing about that was they forced Toby to use the Valkyrie with the Rip Tire.
It is big.
So that's another big stall, and they're still staying on that payload. They have not taken point B, and there is 15 seconds left.
This is using so much time. We may actually see OT here. Zenba gets a nano boost. Gonna go in on this D.Va again. He's got the self-destruct, takes out Taimu, wants to save that ultimate. May not need it. Yeah, there are the kills finally coming in, and that's gonna be point B for Seoul Dynasty, nearly going into OT at the end there.
But the price was so high, Doa.
Definitely.
The use of the Valkyrie, you only have a minute and 20 left. You're not going to have that ability. Of course, neither is Dallas Fuel, but you need that on this attack to push through.
That's right. Dallas fans going crazy. Even Houston fan getting in there. Oh, Allegiance is betrayed. Meanwhile, Jaehong over on the Zenyatta now. About as accurate as they come with those orbs. Fleta gets the kill onto effect, so a good start for Seoul already. As Dallas getting a little bit desperate to defend here.
Fleta's still alive, though. Goes down to about 20 HP, but he's still attempting to get some snipe shots into this low ground. He will find Seagull. He will get Harry Hook, too.
And Munchkin is just chewing through the members of Dallas Fuel on this Reaper right now.
And Mickey switching back to the Orisa. They need some sort of hard defense. It's going to be a while before he gets that supercharger. Harry Hook needs to work his way up quickly to match the Valkyrie of Toby.
Now watching that spawn is Fleta, but it looks like everybody's coming out the other side on Dallas. Fleta's gonna reposition, effect with the kill on the Munchkin already, looking for another one. It's the duel, no, it's gonna go the way of Fleta this time around. Reds comes in on Munchkin, so Seoul not out just yet. Riptire does claim Jaehong though. That's gonna be a problem for Seoul.
They don't have a res available right now. Finally using it, okay, they got over to Jaehong.
We're in OT though.
Death Blossom up here for Munchkin. He's going to get hooked in and he's going to die before he can use his ult.
Wow, huge hook for Taimu right there. Miro goes down as well, and it looks like Dallas may be able to take this map right here, right now. They will. Dallas Fuel taking down Seoul Dynasty on Junkertown.
And we are going to have a good match, though. We saw so many different strategies, so many different heroes. Creativity of Dallas Fuel pulls through again. We'll see if they run the same roster of players in their next map.
I mean, what a start. And it is really exciting because not only do you see the skill level, we know the depth these teams have on their rosters as well. It's going to be great, guys. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, map number 2, don't go anywhere. This is the Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel and Omen by HP.
Need healing. Double kill. Fire will.
I'm Mickey for Dallas Fuel. I'm from Thailand.
Mickey will clear Boink off the point.
He's an aggressive diva, and Mickey has really come alive.
In Thailand, esports didn't big enough, but if I have the opportunity to go outside like international, I want a journey. I want to try. I want to try new stuff in my life.
Synergy with Mickey was just murdering the Houston Outlaws.
It's very cool. Finland, Spain, Thailand, Korean, Sweden. But you know what is the bad thing? It's so hard to communicate with each other.
That's where Mickey comes in. He's gonna
Oh boy, this could be big.
Funniest guy. Oh, can I say that? It's me. Yeah, I think it's me.
That was hilarious. Mickey throwing out celebration pulse bombs.
Being happy is very, very important to whatever you do. Sometimes relax is the key to do it better.
Ton of damage.
Oh my.
Oh man.
Yeah, they look practiced.
I love everyone. I love you guys.
I want people who are watching me, I want to show the good thing about esports. Like, that's my goal.
And how can you not love a guy like Mickey? You know, you and I saw him come in from the very beginning on this team. We actually saw him back when he was on the Thailand World Cup team in 2016. And there was something special about this guy, and he has proven that he absolutely deserves this spot.
He had just such a crazy run, too, because in the first season of Apex, he had to come in halfway through the tournament, right before the playoffs. Yeah. Everybody thought that Envy was going to be done, and they made this insane run with his diva play, sweeping the finals 4-0, and then taking MLG Vegas right after that. So he has been an amazing presence on this team, and just even as a pick-me-up, he always is smiling, always is joking around. It's hard to get tilted in a game where Mickey's there pepping up the team.
Yeah, that's right, and he's going to stay in as we see some subs coming in for Dallas Fuel. XQC subbing in for Seagull, and there's one more, Monte Cristo, in the support role. Chip Cyan going to be subbing in for Custa this time.
And this is the thing about the Dallas Fuel. They will have a strategy for every map. They have the tools, and they're really willing to swap them out to maximize their potential. We're not going to see any swaps on the Seoul Dynasty roster for Temple of Anubis, however.
That's right, Junkertown going the Dallas Fuel way, and now we go to our assault map, Temple of Anubis. And it makes sense to bring in a player like XQC, that aggressive Winston specialist on this map.
Yeah, it does. And even though we've been seeing in the preseason and our very first map of Dallas Fuel here in the Overwatch League inaugural season, we've been seeing Mickey run as a solo tank more often and not playing necessarily that flex tank role on the diva. It's still nice, of course, to have great players like XQC and Coco who can add so much, and we probably will see Mickey here just playing the normal diva role and probably more of a dive style of composition, but you never know. XQC also, of course, famously a solid Orisa player.
Yeah, and you can never overstate the amount of value that Chip Cyan brings to this team, too. His great Ana play, he's become a very good Mercy player as well. I hope we get to see him unleashed on the Ana again at some point once the meta shifts a little bit, but for now, you know, it's good to see him in whatever capacity he can play.
Hey, you got some Ana on the last map. You can't complain too much with Jae Hong playing mostly Ana.
Between these two guys, you probably have the two best Anas in the world in this match right now.
Yeah, it is hard to argue that.
Absolutely.
Definitely a case can be made. And we are going to have Miro on the Orisa, so we're going to see the boost again that we saw in our first match of the day.
That's right. We only need Mei for her ice wall. Get out of here.
Gotta love the yellow snow of Seoul Dynasty Mei.
I wasn't going to say anything. I love our team colors.
I can't wait to see Blizzard.
Well,
and also the Blizzard devs later for me making that comment.
You know, I was hoping we'd get to see a little Jae-Hong Mei on Junkertown. We saw the preseason, but no such luck yet. It's going to be that high ground defense from Seoul Dynasty, hanging out up there with the Orisa, with the Diva.
So we saw
the Widow.
Yeah, we saw this earlier, but it was paired with a Junkrat on the other side. Munchkin will be playing the Tracer, and XQC. This is going to be a slow pushing composition.
Yeah.
A lot of meat here with the Orisa, the Diva, and the Roadhog. So they're going to slowly push towards the point. Doesn't matter if they take any damage from the Widow. They are just going to heal up and build up their support ultimates. Nice pull up.
It's a lot of HP, but it moves fast with Harry Hook on that Lucio as well. So we'll see where they can reposition here.
Yeah, you see as we're watching right now that Zunba is saving his defensive matrix for the Orisa halt because he doesn't want them to get pulled off the high ground.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, you definitely don't want to lose that positioning. You don't have the Mei to boost you back up there.
Too dead.
Oh, but that's not good. Munchkin and Jae-Hong already going down here as Seoul Dynasty infiltrates the defensive fortifications of Seoul. Or Dallas, rather, infiltrates. That's looking pretty good for them in their point A attempt. Oh, and a fadeaway snipe on the outside.
I barely saw him in time, and in fact, he was already had his mouse on Fletta's head.
He just turned casually, brushed him off his shoulder, man. That's
So this is also a weird strategy on attack. We don't see very many slow approach strategies like that. And with
seems slow to me.
It was slower than normal, that's for sure. Taimu will be switching over to the Reaper now.
Yeah.
For point B. They're sticking with this, see if they get a pick here and can snowball this with Effect.
Great swap for Taimu to go over onto that Reaper. We saw Effect doing that a lot during the
Zunba's already dead. He went too far. This could be disastrous.
Yeah, Effect grabs a couple already.
Oh man, they're 3 down and there's a Reaper on the point already, Doa.
Dallas is there ready to capitalize. in the faces of the respawns. Effect taking that position to handle them as they come out. Lots of damage done. Munchkin not surviving too long. That's 2 points already. Are you kidding me? Are they just going to take it right here, right now? They are.
6:14.
6:14 on the clock. I have almost never, I can count the amount of times I've seen that much time in the time bank on this map on one hand.
Zunba really...
Maybe half my fingers.
Zunba really dove deep there and got demeched and killed almost instantly. So even though they didn't... The thing is, when you have that Widowmaker, great for that first point when you have the long sight lines. But obviously the ultimate doesn't do a lot for you on the second point. But if Zunba's going to go that deep and get shoved off and into the midst of the enemy team, and then he can follow it up with a kill like that, Fleta had reset his ultimate, obviously, by moving on to the Genji. So had Taimu, but the quick Reaper swap, once you get a couple guys up on that point, it is insanely difficult to remove that Reaper once he actually gets all the way on top of the control point on B.
How does Effect look that much better every single time I watch this guy? I mean, seriously.
His story's crazy. You watch the Dallas Fuel YouTube video where they're talking about each other. Great video, by the way. But it's like, Effect, he plays a couple hours of OSA, and then he plays like a couple hours of aim training games. Then he plays like an hour of quick play, and only then will he start playing ranked. I mean, the regimen, the individual regimen that Effect puts him through, himself through on a nearly daily basis shows why he has the level of aim that he has.
See, when my practice regimen is like a little bit of World of Warcraft and then some Reddit, and then I get scared and don't play ranked.
See, that's why we're standing where we are, Noah.
That's right. That's right. We don't have to worry. We don't have to win. That's the comforting thing for us.
So this is going to be a forward defense from Dallas Fuel. We saw this style of defense from London Spitfire in the preseason match that they played against the San Francisco Shock. So won't be going for any May boost. They want to play more aggressively. Harry Hook is going to be on the Soldier 76. So one support yet again.
True enough. Let's see what Fleta can do on this Genji. He's put in some pretty good performances on that here in the past. Zenyatta, you can't. Not good at climbing trees, I suppose. He needs that upgrade. He doesn't have that one yet.
Omnic's not good at scaling trees, I suppose.
Guess not. Trying to bust Dallas Fuel off this high ground here. Zunba does get demeched by QXC immediately. Effect chased off of that high ground. Fleta going after him. He's the one who needs to get these kills. He's going to settle for a Harry Hook for the moment. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not, especially because it's going to be hard for this Mercy to go ahead and attempt a resurrection here. That's what he's going to chase Effect around up. You may have bitten off a bit more than you can chew, Fleta.
Well, Widow
he's on the run. He's getting healed now. He's all right.
He's back in action for the moment, and Shanghai, or rather Seoul, has put in some pressure on the point already. There's one tick on the control beater. They've got Dallas backed into that stairway right now. Hero has to back away. There's a stick coming in. Munchkin claims one. XQC goes down, grabs Mickey on the way out too. Both tanks out of the way. And Seoul looking like they may take a pretty quick one, unless maybe they have people out. He res XQC. I didn't see that right away. And yeah, with that Orisa there, it's tough to finish that one off.
All right, so but Munchkin's still in the back. He's going to try and cut off reinforcements. Has to use his rewind early, though, so he may not get the damage done.
All right, let's watch Effect on this map.
Munchkin's still in the back as we take a look at this replay right now. Impressive for him to wait out that reflect and then fake a kill onto Zunba before he comes back and deals a bit more damage. I mean, right now, honestly, the Seoul Dynasty are still spread all across the map. They're at a giant arc. Zunba's on the high ground. Miro's there too. You can see Munchkin in the way back. This is a long flank. They're going to collapse from all sides.
Yeah, Munchkin coming in too. Zunba already half health. Doesn't want to get demeched anytime soon. Has to back into the room. Getting chased down by Harry Hook on that Soldier. Fleta with 2 on the Dragon Blade though. Oh, but Harry Hook responding long enough to get 2 of his own. And his self-destruct though, not getting anything.
And he got Toby, who had the Valkyrie up.
Wow.
So it may be able. They're still going to push through. They have the healing from Jae-Hong with the Orb of Harmony. So one more tick. That'll be it. But only 5 minutes and 35 seconds or so, which is still less than the total time in the time bank.
Look at those ults though for Seoul Dynasty, sitting on 5 right now to the 2 of Dallas. So they're coming into this with a lot of momentum. This is their big chance to try to put a good time on the time bank themselves.
Yeah, they have to snowball this right now to have a shot in this game.
Yep.
Miro gets low, he gets killed through the Primal Rage.
Wow, that was a ton of damage coming in, and here comes Taimu. With that Riptire, he's going to find some damage. Onto the Winston, Munchkin looking for some targets in the cave here on the right, trying to find it onto Chips. Fleta finishes that one out for him.
They are going to remake with the self-destruct. Can't get there in time as Mickey actually gets taken out by Jaehong before he can hop back in.
Well, great start for Seoul so far on point B. They got a lot done. Now it's just a matter of taking out the people that come next. And I guess that's not even going to be necessary. 4:48 in the time bank. Normally, I'd be going crazy about that. That's a fantastic time. But against 6:14, that's a...
Still, there's plenty of time for adapting, though.
Oh,
The difference is not so great that this isn't going to be a very competitive match. And credit to Seoul, you can see how well they communicate in-game. When we were looking at that map overview, Munchkin stayed behind enemy lines for a long time.
Yep.
You can see how deliberately they created a massive... They just basically surrounded the point, had Fleta there, and then they dropped in all at once to pick up the major kills that they needed to flip point A. That also gave them a huge amount of ult charge, which then made it quite easy to snowball through point B.
I don't think I've ever seen a game where a team gets 4:48 left on the clock, and I'm like, that's pretty good, but it's tough to compare to the other team. It's a lot of time left. We could easily see like a 6-5 ending score for this one. This one could go a while.
And exactly, these are my favorite kind of assault maps, where it's very snappy, it's very attack focused, because you get to see how well these teams craft their strategies and how well they're communicating as they execute these complex flanks in order to get onto these points.
It's a trap.
Well, we'll see if it's a trap this time.
Yeah. Well, it depends on if anyone walks into it. Well, it's still a trap, even if nobody activates it.
I suppose it is, just an ineffective one at that. Same style of defense, and this worries me a bit because it hasn't changed when it comes to their positioning or their team composition, and Seoul was effective against this.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to this sort of high ground defense, it's kind of kicking it old school a little bit. I feel like teams like Seoul and like a lot of other teams a long time ago have figured out how to dive this properly.
All right, they're diving now. They're waiting to get healed up, and now everybody's coming in.
Here we go. Beck gets a kill onto Fleta with a mine, actually. Interestingly enough, gets chased off the high ground, though. Couple shots on Zunba as he falls, but his team falling around him as it happens. Toby in the trap, but Jaehong is there to save his mercy with a shot to the dome. On effect, that's going to be a very quick point A.
And when we saw Dallas Fuel, their strategy the first time was to plop down the healing station from the Soldier 76 and try and fight on that on the initial dive. This time around, though, they send Zunba in to disrupt and punch people back from that high ground, so they're not getting as much healing, and they just move straight on through. Take a look at Miro's perspective right here. Valkyrie's already up. So the poke that was done early gave Toby a ton of ult charge. That's why they fell back and waited for all the heals to come through before diving.
Miro already disrupting Dallas Fuel in their defensive setup there on the high ground. Gonna go in now. Munchkin very low on the outside, has to recall. He's in a safe spot though.
All right, Taimu with the Riptire, waiting for it, does get Munchkin, but Toby's coming in with the Resurrect. Mickey wants to zone them off the point. He's trying to get as much time as he can.
Yep, that's right. Just trying to buy as much
There's
as possible.
the res.
Yeah, Munchkin brought up by Toby at the last second. Comes back in. He's getting a lot of healing in with this Valk, but now they need to get some time.
Wow, Munchkin actually managed to blow up Taimu with the Pulse Bomb, and this is an easy roll here for Seoul Dynasty.
Oh, wow. This may be it, actually. Dallas has one more chance to get onto the point and try to push this back, but XQC going down fast. Nice shot by Jaehong, and that's 3:18 still left on the clock for Seoul after they get 4 points.
Wow.
Oh boy, this one's getting good.
And this is where the old team of Lunatic High was so effective. This is why they are a two-time Apex champion. It's because they can adapt. And once they figure out a strategy, they can change their execution. And they saw the same thing from Dallas Fuel. It's very difficult to beat the core of this roster if you're doing the same thing over and over again.
Very true. So now, talking about that adaptability, how is Dallas Fuel going to change things up to try to match that time? The nice thing for them is they still have a ton of time in the time bank, about 1.5 minutes more than Seoul started with. But they need to move fast. I mean, that was pretty much an instant point A, point B take for Seoul. That was about as quick as you could do it. They only took about 1:30 or so, about 2 minutes total if you add in that extra 30 seconds you get after point A to complete their attack run.
Yeah, very convincing.
Yeah.
Clearly, and we're going to see them run a full dive composition on the defense. So I think they're suspecting that the slow push composition is going to come back, and they're realizing they just need to jump on it immediately. And as far as we can tell, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be the Roadhog D.Va with XQC on the Orisa and Effect on the Widowmaker one more time. Seoul is changing it up. They will start to head this off right after they go in from the choke point, and they're not going to give any shots to Effect in the meantime.
Seems to be the setup.
Well, they know if they kill Effect that there's very low damage output on the side of Dallas.
Zinpa, death from above. Firing from on high, coming down. Wow, right on the chips. Great Rockets gets hooked, but it doesn't matter. The Mercy's already out of commission.
But
Or
Effect,
maybe it does.
Yeah,
Effect
takes down Jaehong, and they manage to grind it out. So even though the healer goes down, a different tactic this time. They used a Lucio speed boost to get onto the point and force the dive composition to play into them on the tanks. So they just ignore the dive. They say, you can't catch us. We're going to move faster by amping it up, speed boosting our team over, and then you have to walk into our tanks where you just get hooked and die.
I mean, they had Lucio. They had Harry Hook on the Lucio in their first attack too, but they took it a little bit slower.
Yeah.
This time going straight up the middle, and Seoul just wasn't ready.
So the thing is, they didn't see any defenders on the high ground. So they're like, oh, you guys
Oh,
are playing
that
dive. Okay.
Goodbye, Fleta. Time on fire right now. Popping that whole hog, needs a little bit more. Munchkin finds the kill anyway. XQC on the point with that Orisa. Effect in the back, getting the shots, takes down Jaehong. The control meter is building, and they've already seized control of that point.
This just keeps on going. Effect still has that angle. A hook on the
Another
side.
hook.
Toby switching to the Sombra just to get back to that point, but it's nearly done.
Yeah, Fleta can't dislodge Effect. He loses that duel again. Transcendence for Jaehong, just trying to buy time for more of his team to respawn. Another attempt at that with the Primal Rage from Miro on that Winston. Doesn't matter though, the kill still coming in for Dallas. Taimu misses a hook, but they've chased the Winston back again.
They have, but they're
Nearly
still not getting this actual point.
They've nearly
They're
got
gonna
it,
try
though.
and come in with the Dragon Blade, but he gets picked off by Taimu.
That's right. Munchkin just being as annoying as he can. There's Zimba with all that help on the D.Va mech.
There he's killed by a pulse bomb. This may actually be a hold. Can they do it?
Well, Taimu gets the kill on the Munchkin. He's got another whole hog. All right, they've got the May in there now for Seoul Dynasty, but he can push people back. They're so close, they've nearly got it. Fleta falls, and that will be at 4:30 on the clock for Dallas Fuel. We are still tied up on Anubis, 4-4.
And this is where we see the high-quality Overwatch, everybody. This game is hype as hell already.
Yeah.
Dallas Fuel, you can see the reads, the adaptations they're using. We don't see the Widowmaker Orisa defense for Seoul Dynasty. Fuel knows how to play against that with this composition. So they don't see anybody, just boost straight into the point. Force them to come to you. You're walking into D.Va Rockets, you're walking into the hooks from Taimu, and you just don't have the HP to go ahead and take those tanks down very quickly, and they're just chewing through the DPS members of Seoul.
Well, this is exactly the high-level Overwatch match we were hoping it would be, and I'm getting chills, man, because this is reaching like epic levels of Temple of Anubis, and both of these teams still have a ton of time in the timing. I have never seen a match where it's 4-4. One team has 3:18, the other team has 4:30.
Yeah, there's a possibility we go into like 8-7 here.
That would be crazy, man.
That would be really exciting.
I've never seen that.
Okay,
That
so
would be something.
we just keep seeing the depth of this Anubis play.
Yeah.
And as I say that, they do
gonna go
exactly
again?
the same thing.
Huh, all right.
Actually, yeah, so Taimu, well, once again, on the Junkrat, and they're still going to be playing that same position.
It's a gentleman's agreement between these two teams. They just want to see how many total points they can score on Anubis, I guess.
And back to the classic dive composition for the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah.
They were successful in getting them off the high ground last time. Can they do it again? Mickey's playing low ground this time.
Waiting for that perfect opportunity for the dive, and now it's going to come in. All right, they're going to go.
Yeah, they're not all grouped up, so notice that they've actually spread out Dallas Fuel on this defense.
Yeah. All right, Zimba demeched early. Good start for Dallas. Ooh, but Taimu does fall. Fleta in the back lines, a kill on the chips. Another one on to Harry. Fleta going crazy, trying to make another run. Effect, he gets it. That's 4 kills for Fleta already on Seoul Dynasty. And they are going to crush point A yet again.
And the difference in that defense from Seoul, you could see them. This time Effect was way in the back. They were spread out along the bridge so that nobody could get dived easily. But Seoul takes a step back. They look at that defense, and then they call targets efficiently. so everybody is following Fleda's lead as he starts to pick up those kills.
Pure insanity, Monte Cristo. We are going in to a possible 6th point for Seoul Dynasty, and again, the momentum is theirs. Taimu over on the Sombra now, so there's your adaptation from Dallas, but will it be enough?
Taimu, players played a lot of Sombra in the past, and they're going to try and hack those mega health packs to get some more healing, to get the EMPs up as fast as they can. Munchkin going to be the first of all. XQC will get the kill.
Good target selection from Fleta, finishing off XQC there on the Winston, now hunting down. Oh, the Mercy, but he can't quite do it. Dallas coming back, winning this fight. And it looks like they're going to stabilize for probably the first time in this map.
Yeah, this has been such an attack-favored map for both teams. Not something we say about Temple of Anubis very often, but the execution by the attacking teams has been clean. And now Taimu already has that EMP as we suspect. So it's up to Seoul to try and bait that ability out and play around it.
That's right. EMP available too, or rather Valk available for chips too. Valuable ult if they can use it. XQC falls early again. Effect goes down too. Fleta on the point right now, waiting to use that Dragon Blade. Harry Hook, he may not even need it to finish him off.
Where's the EMP? It was used.
Yeah, Taimu gets Munchkin, but not a whole lot else.
We gotta wait right now. Chips is in Valkyrie, getting his team healed up. Not a lot of members on the point. Very low percentage right now for Seoul.
There's the Dragon Blade, trying to wait on most of that Valkyrie, swinging wildly, but getting booped away, getting battered away by XQC on that Winston. Fleta gets nothing with the ultimate, and he is going to have to back off for the moment. Harry Hook falls.
Both supports down,
carrying. Yeah, man, it's all Munchkin right now. Got a couple, paved the way for his team to come back in. That's going to be the first tick for them on point B. Taimu trying to buy as much time as possible. Gets out for the moment, just trying to stay alive, waiting for the respawns.
Yeah, super hard to stay alive, even on that Lucio.
Ooh, yeah.
Somehow, we have Harry Hook finally going down. Mei is out, the stall tactics are coming in.
Oh, did he time it? He did. Chips taken out with the pulse bomb right after that ice block ended. And Seoul looking good, but a lot of time getting chewed off the clock here by Dallas. Transcendence now for Jaehong. They've nearly got it, less than 30 seconds remaining. Effect does go down. Mickey back on the point one more time. Demect again.
Fleta with another Dragon
a little
Blade.
bit longer. If they can just push it to OT, that would be huge. Chip still alive. Nice ice wall, staying alive somehow with 1 health before he finally goes down. Nice kill on defense.
No.
That's going to be it. 11 seconds. They tried, but Dallas just quite couldn't push Seoul into OT.
That was a good stall, though, and nearly ended that time bank, but not enough here. Seoul Dynasty holding on with a few seconds remaining and very barely managing to push in on the defense that time. We did see some overextension by Dallas Fuel. They were playing too aggressively at the front of the temple on point B, and so they got picked off, and they didn't have a good use of that EMP. You need people to engage into you with the EMP.
Yes. This is a big opportunity for Dallas, though. They still have 4 minutes and 30 seconds in their time bank. If they can get another really fast 2-point take and go into our 4th round with a big advantage in the time bank, that could be huge. That could be enough to push them to a 2-0. But this thing, I got a feeling, is going to go down to the wire.
It very may well, and we are going to have another May boost up onto the top point here of Temple of Anubis. So they decided they didn't like actually running their dive composition on defense, and it's back to their original defense.
Yep.
And Munchkin on the flank by the far staircase with the Tracer, so he'll be poking away and trying to get any supports as they trickle in, and be the same old for the Dallas Fuel.
You know, right now in this meta, I tend to like this defensive setup a little bit better than what we've seen Dallas do, but you know, it hasn't really seemed to stop either team, no matter what they've been running into.
Dallas had a great answer last time, and now they're taking it slow again. You can see this is about methodically avoiding the sidelines, getting up onto the high ground, and again, try and get a little bit of damage on your tank so you get some of that support ultimate built up.
Straight up the middle again. At some point, Seoul needs to drop
down. To fall down.
That's right, 1 tick already here. Effect does fall.
Munchkin got Effect.
They're getting those kills, and that's the big part. Taimu gonna fall soon. There we go, another one for Fleta.
Flood on the back. He actually set up a crossfire. So look at the differences in positioning that we see from the Dallas Fuel in this fight. Munchkin, more patient, waits to find specifically effect on the back line. At that point, Fleta sets up over the back so they can create a crossfire between the bulk of their team on the point and the Widowmaker on the far side. Great positioning.
Great diva stall too. I mean, that really bought Seoul a little bit more time. Let's check that replay. Fleta, again, like you said, has this crossfire option. And there's nothing really Dallas Fuel can do to stop these shots from coming in and really swinging the fight in Seoul's favor.
He tried to do it last time, but it was effective this time.
Speaking of effective, there's Effect himself, down to just 6 health, trying to stay alive, can't quite do it. Miro with the finishing blow. XQC hiding in the little room off to the side here. Still trying to handle Fleta. Not crossfire position here. Toby, low. XQC trying to stand strong, but Jaehong gets the kill. Now Mickey backing away again. Got demeched early, and Seoul Dynasty still holding point A. It's getting a little bit scary for Dallas.
Yeah, it is, and both teams will have the Valks up soon enough. Chips will be there by the time this next fight starts. Harry Hook looking at that sound barrier as a method to get his team to hold on to this point.
Right.
And the slow approach again. The problem with Dallas Fuel's composition is that it does move slowly onto the point. It takes a lot of time to set up.
Oh, Fleta so ready for effect there.
Yep, and now he's going to set up the crossfire again.
Yeah, he's
trying to punish that Mercy, but not going to find it.
Effect res, so he's back in action again, and Jaehong does fall, so an opportunity finally. But now Fleta taking that really far back position, looking for shots, and he's so far away. Again, all Dallas can do is try to avoid these shots. They can't really punish him right now.
They have to get on the point to start contesting it is the problem. Toby actually kills Effect.
Okay, some headshots coming in, but again, Fleta may just have to watch his team lose the point here. Or maybe not. Mickey demeched, XQC low.
They're just playing it. They can't walk into the open right now. It's too dangerous. Seoul Dynasty has surrounded the point. They're coming from too many angles.
But they got to get that shield up. There's the supercharger as well to help. Doesn't last long as Zunba takes it down. But so far, Dallas still sitting on the point. But as I say that, Taimu falls, and it looks like Seoul may just reclaim it fully again.
They are going to take it. So Dallas's next shot comes from Chips being closer to that Valkyrie. They can get it rolling. They might be able to do something. They're switching everything up right now. Taimu on the Soldier. Effect over to the Genji. And we have XQC on the Winston. So it's do or die. They're going to change. Oh, my. That's a delay.
Ooh, yeah. Taimu really getting picked at the worst possible time.
And there goes their res, too. They're going to have another one, though, once Chips actually hits that Valkyrie.
Man, the shots Fleta's been hitting this match have just been insane. Another kill onto Effect here. And man, when it comes down to it, Fleta has really become the hero for Seoul on this map.
Who would have thought, but the old roster of Lunatic High is better with Fleta, as we might say.
It's better with Fleta, can't argue with that. Nice shot on XQC, and he can't quite make it out. Man, Fleta just looks untouchable at this point.
He doesn't have pressure, that's the thing. Effect can't get up into his face, and they keep getting picked off. Mickey now. The late stall, 25 seconds. They cannot be in the line of sight of this Widowmaker any longer.
This may be it. This may be it. One last desperate attack from Dallas Fuel. And if they lose one more person to these headshots coming in from Fleta, I think this round and this map are over.
Waiting for somebody to peek right there. Doesn't hit Taimu, who he's looking for.
Now there'll be healing coming in. If he can get the Mercy kill, that's big. Chip still alive. There's a dive. Fleta on the run. Backs off. Tries to find it. Oh, we can't get the Mercy in time. But Munchkin coming in with the pulse bomb onto Taimu. Chips pops that Valk. Gets his DPS up again. And now Dallas coming in. Can the respawns from Toby be enough to help Seoul fight it out? There's the Transcendence from Jaehong. Trying to keep whatever's left of his
Harry
team
Hook,
alive.
watch that sound barrier. It's up to 94%. Effect is coming in with his Dragon Blade.
He gets Toby. That's big. He gets Jaehong as well. Both supports out of the way. A 5-player kill streak already on the slate for Effect. And that may be it. Dallas Fuel, they're into OT, but they are not out yet.
Oh, man, maybe they should have saved that sound barrier, though, because they've got 30 seconds, and that could have been it. They are going to have a tactical visor. There are swaps coming in. Jaehong knows that that tac visor's nearly up. He needs to sleep dart Taimu.
All right, this attack has to go perfectly if they're going to have any chance. XQC waiting for that primal rage. 10 seconds remaining in the time bank. It's now or never for Dallas. They gotta make something happen. XQC onto the high ground, doesn't quite get it. Oh, but Taimu takes down Fleta with attack visor. Good start. There's the self-destruct from Mickey, paving the way for Dallas to position themselves on the point right now. Taimu fighting for his life, pushes back the Lucio for the moment. We're into OT again, but that's one tick already. Munchkin falls. Dallas looks like they may have the position to do this. This would be crazy if they can pull this off. They've got the numbers. They've got Jaehong down. Taimu low. They keep him up just in time. Zunba gonna get demeched in just a second. And Fleta doing what he can, which is not much, as he is a dead Reaper. And Miro, it's all on him and Toby right now. The Lunatic High Core, they need to save their team to win this map. OT getting low. They gotta stay on the point. Dallas cannot afford to do it. This may be it. I don't know, man. I think Seoul may have the number.
XQC, can he buy the time
He's
with
gotta
that
be the
primal
hero.
rage?
Taimu falls. XQC backs away, and he can't get to the point. Seoul Dynasty will tie up this series.
Wow.
Man.
Woo! Man, you know, you gotta say, when we had the preseason, or when we had the Overwatch World Cup, that Hanamura match between Korea and USA was probably the best map of that whole tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And this Assault map 2 turning into what a thrilling display of Overwatch skill here on our first day of the league.
Absolutely awesome start to what we knew was going to be a marquee